What is up, everybody? Welcome to another Let's Talk in the E3 2018 wrap-up show. T, how you doing, man?
Hey there, fools. What's going on?
And we also have with me Shadow Fox.
Who done stepped in the game.
Okay. And and what we're gonna do, we're gonna talk the entire E3 show, what we saw, the good, the bad, the weird, the confusing, the game that really I don't understand how anybody. It's hilarious to try to hear people try to talk about it and explain because nobody knows anything about it, even the people that made it and the celebrities that's in it. Y'all already know what I'm talking about. So we're just gonna dive right into it now. I'm gonna leave out one particular show just because it was just that boring and it was just that horrible, and they need to step their game up. EA, y'all suck. So
moving on.
We're just gonna move past EA.
Trash.
Yeah,
but Anthem is no, stop.
No,
yeah,
they messed up. They messed it up.
Yeah, we're not even doing that. But if you watch my live play-by-plays, they are up on my YouTube channel. So if you want to hear those, you can go back and watch those. Microsoft overall, I think I enjoyed theirs pretty much the most, and I'll tell you why. One, I think they did what they had to do. Microsoft, Phil Spencer, them have been quiet for about close to a year, probably about 10 months. And I was sitting up there like, okay, man, y'all got to do something because people is they feeling a little fidgety with you. They kind of don't trust you at this point. And I think they came out, did a good show, hit the games back to back to back to back. A nice little mix, showed some of the studios they got, and a surprise in which they pretty much bought Ninja Theory.
Yep.
Which I did not see coming. Honestly, I didn't think Sony would let that happen, but apparently they did. So
yeah,
slipping.
Yeah, I just didn't see Sony letting them. I would have thought Sony would have bought them first, but hey, it is what it is. So what I want to do for this segment is I want to get your best and worst of this particular show. So Shadow Fox, what was your best and worst of this particular show?
So I'll go with my worst first, and my worst is the cringe stuff. And talking about, I guess it's more the reaction of the gamers than it is for the press in general, who they're supposed to be presenting this to. But a lot of people are literally they're bandwagoning the fact that Microsoft made deals to get more publishing and purchase some of the companies that you were talking about. That has nothing to do with games, and all these deals that they just made, like, you're not going to see the fruits of that labor for 3-4 years, whatever the next Xbox is.
At least.
Yeah. So what's the point of, like, people were literally cheering for this, and I'm like, okay, those aren't the hype camp up front. Those are people in the actual audience cheering about this. This doesn't make any sense to me. Like, they were cheering for that a little bit more than they were cheering for the actual games that were shown. So, which leads me to my best, which was game after game after game after game after game. Say what you will about their marketing and world exclusive and console launch exclusive. They didn't have to say all that. They could just, this game is coming. It's coming to Xbox One. I mean, it might be on something else. Who cares? It's on Xbox One. You have stuff to play on your Xbox now. Y'all were complaining. Here it is. Shut up. And I like that approach. And everybody kind of loves Phil Spencer anyway. He just kind of comes out there, smiles. Everybody's like, "Oh, we're not worthy" type deal. And that kind of worked for me. I really like that. Horizon, just seeing more Horizon in the way that they kind of go. Basically, that's their version of Excite Truck, kind of like they're trying to do their own. You can throw whatever you want in here type deal. And I kind of like that they seem to be having more and more fun with that franchise. So that looks pretty fun to me. And I definitely out of all the games, not counting Halo, obviously, that was the one I was kind of most excited for.
Oh, okay. All right. T, what about you?
I have to agree. Like, best of show, I can't point to one particular thing because there was no like, whoa, surprise, which I feel like that happens at least once in every E3. And I didn't feel like we got like a whoa out of the left field kind of surprise. There were some surprises, don't get me wrong, but nothing like mind blowing, like, oh my God. So I have to agree that the game after game after game after game stuff that Microsoft was doing, and yet I agree. Like they didn't have to do the exclusive cut. Just get rid of that. Just get rid. Just get rid of talking about exclusive until you're talking about your first party stuff. All right, just leave that other stuff out of there. Because you don't need it. A lot of companies show stuff and they don't talk about what's exclusive and what's not. They just show, they'll show third-party games and just be like, hey, this is coming to our console, so be happy. So
just like the PC showcase.
Yeah. Right. Right. Imagine if they did that, like they'd be talking about like maybe 2 games. So it's pointless. Just don't do it. I mean, I know why they started doing it because of the chatter.
Yeah.
And, and you're right. Like you said, they're gonna, that stuff isn't gonna come out until the, Xbox Next, whatever it's gonna be, as far as the fruits of them buying these companies. Now, I want to play devil's advocate a little bit because I do get why people would cheer because they've been starving so long.
Yeah.
A lot of Xbox fans have been starving for so long for like major first party stuff.
That crackdown thirst.
Yeah, and a lot of people were worried. A lot of people were straight up worried. Is Microsoft just going to go like this whole services route and not even make a next Xbox? And they said, yes, we're not going service only. We're committed to making first party games, and we're committed to a new console. So I think that's why people would probably cheer. So I get that. But low. If we're not talking about EA, low would be watching an entire audience. Well, not actually watching it, but I think I would have rather watched the audience walk from one theater to the next than deal with that weird intermission at Sony's conference where it's just like, is it over? Or because they're outside talking now, like it's not over because they said intermission. It's like, well, we're really gonna get back to the show, guys. Just hang on a little longer for everybody to sit down. It's just the weirdest decision I ever seen at an E3. So that was probably the low.
I think #cringe got the most use this E3. I really do.
It was so cringy. Like it was like, what are you doing? Yeah. So that was probably the low, but yeah. Good show.
I will say this: that Halo Infinite thing that they started off with, I swore it was Lion King, and I was probably about to stop. So I was waiting for like Rafiki to show up. With, Simba. I mean, because they started with a freaking a rhino stampede. I'm like, is this Lion King?
That's how I felt during the Halo 2 reveal as well.
Yeah,
what is with y'all about Africa?
A low point. For the low point that I got from Microsoft, it really wasn't a low point for me at any point. I thought they did a good job of just the pacing. I mean, it was a little long once again because I still don't understand why these conferences are over an hour. I really don't.
Yeah, 50 games though. I mean, they talked about 10 of them at length. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Theirs made sense because they were going and like I said, the pacing was good on this one because it was just they game after game. There was no lull, but it was like an hour and 30. So okay, now Sony, our favorite people in the world, this E3, like T said, that cringe.
Oh my bad. Were we just doing Microsoft?
Yeah, just doing Microsoft.
Oh my bad. Yeah.
No problem.
I screwed up.
You get to go first on this one. This is Sony, so you get to go first. So, but the cringeworthiness of this. Now, this ain't haterade. This just seeing it for what it was. I admire them for wanting to do something different. I just don't think they executed it good.
Exactly.
I don't think it was executed good.
Yeah, the execution was way off, and you wouldn't expect that from a company, an entertainment company, where they're used to dealing with movies and all that kind of stuff. That whole setup. So,
and the sad thing about it is, this show honestly would have been probably an hour long had they didn't have to go back to back to their panel of people that were had monotone and all that. It was just boring because they had to cover for people walking from space to space.
And that brother on the end, can I say that brother was so fraudulent.
Lane.
He was so forced. I was like,
phoning it home, huh?
Oh my gosh.
Jeez, like boy, like man, it got to a point I was like, dude, just shut the hell up. So
he's like, hey guys, when do I get paid? Hey guys,
he might as well have said that because I thought I heard that.
Like, man, he looked like he was about ready to go to the club. Like,
speaking of it,
I'm here because I'm a gig, but I got to be at the club at like 10. Y'all need to hurry up. You know?
So should we blame Sony for all the E3 outtakes? It happened at every conference, but should we blame? Because even at the Smash Invitational, we heard some stuff like, "Oh, that dude just cursed in the middle of a Nintendo game being played." But okay, I'm pretty sure he's fired. But
here's the funny thing about that: most people, when they play in a Nintendo game, have a very variety of cuss words. Play Mario Kart 8 200cc.
Yeah,
you gonna make up cuss words.
Meet me online. I'd be cussing.
It's like, you okay when you get back to the lobby, just quit. Just quit. You don't want to hear nobody's trash.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what it is. But what I want to do for this one, I want to ask y'all, I'm gonna say a game and y'all give me what y'all thought about it from Sony. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Ghost of Tsushima. T.
Gorgeous.
Okay. Shadow.
So I think it was gorgeous as well. I guess I'm a little bit analytical when it comes to stuff like that, though, because it seemed as if we're starting off with this horse thing, like we have to show that it's somehow open world like Legend of Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
Then you go to this point that is staged for you to go there and have a conversation. Then you go to another point where, the battle's going to happen here, guys. So let's pick the wind up and have this battle type deal. It seemed like the entire demo was set to entertain, and I don't. What I'm worried about is that if you press buttons on that engine and say, take this dynamic lighting off, take these physics off, let's just see the fighting in wireframe, and it's not going to be fun. I'm hoping that's not going to be the case. And this is this Sucker Punch or this Insomniac? I forget which one.
This is Sucker Punch.
Insomniac
is Spider-Man.
Okay.
Spider-Man, right? Okay, so Sucker Punch, they really don't screw up. I'm a big fan of them because I like Infamous. So I really think they can't really screw this up. But what I saw was kind of like, it's really trying to sell me something that's not a game, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it looked really good, but I'm like, so what happens after these couple of cutscenes? Is this going to happen every single level that I go to, or am I going to am I going to be free reign to ride this horse and go wherever, and people are going to try to attack me, and I could choose whether I want to fight them on foot or on horse? Like, none of that was explained. It was just, hey, this woman finally gets to get killed because women been killing dudes all through E3, but I'm gonna spare her life. I don't know if we're talking about social commentary at all today, but
no, that was
kind of
weird. That's like another 8 hours of
yeah, that's just weird. That was just real weird to me, and I felt like there were people. There was a lot of it.
Yeah,
I didn't even like see it that way, but yeah, I can see it.
I saw it as. I just got. I started remembering about Kung Fu Theater movies.
Yeah, I was gonna say I just saw it as one of those overly used kind of movie tropes where it's like, oh, she's double crossing them, but they decide to work together after all, kind of deal. You know what I'm saying? Like,
because the common enemy
that happens in movies so much.
The double cross was you can see the double cross coming a mile.
You saw it coming a mile away. I was like, she's gonna flip. Yeah, I saw it when she quote unquote saved him.
Yeah,
yeah,
she's gonna turn like. So yeah,
people, when you watch enough movies,
right, exactly.
You will be able to tell what's gonna happen.
I guess my thing was when we saw, okay, it seemed. So the reason why I even came up with that, it was like, okay, let's show the open world segment. Mm-hmm. Let's show the conversation segment where you have a dialogue tree. Let's show fight number 1. This is where we do our counter, like in Legend of Zelda and all other type of games where you have a counter, like Bayonetta or whatnot. Then let's go up the hill and follow this character because we got to do the follow me Call of Duty thing. Then you get up there, let's do some stealth because, that's in other games. And then you go and do that part kind of like how Days Gone was and first demoed and all the other type of stuff. You climb to the top, look down. Then you do your stealth kill a la Ninja Gaiden. And you come out and then there's another fight. I guess that's supposed to be the first boss fight. Yeah.
I'm guessing.
But when you got to the part where both of them were actually fighting, I don't know whether or not they had a plan to show more of the game and it wasn't ready, or they were just trying to say these are the 5 phases of this game. Get hyped.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? It was so compartmentalized. It just seemed like phase 1, phase 2, phase 3.
Yeah. I think that's what it was. I think it was they were trying to get people to get hyped for it, because I think that's why they showed the duel at the end of the presentation for that game, is because if you notice, they kind of flipped to that old school widescreen view.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why they did it. They did it to like get people hyped. Me personally, I'm actually looking forward to Ghost of Tsushima because I love a good samurai revenge movie.
Yeah.
So
I have my apprehensions about it. Like I'm with you, Fox.
I'm cautiously optimistic, but I think it'd be fine.
Because here's what I'm worried about. Like, obviously, it's a very cinematic looking game, and Sony's really good at that stuff. But as far as the thing about me in movies and cinema is I have to have somebody that I can attach to. Like, and it usually needs to be the protagonist, right? So the person I'm controlling, to me, has to be charismatic, has to have a story that I give a damn about for me to really get into a game like that. So that's why I can't get into God of War, because Kratos does nothing for me as a character. Like, he just does nothing for me as a character.
But he's almost intentionally shallow, though.
I understand that, but that doesn't work for me. I know it works for some people, which is fine. I'm not knocking it or anything, but for me, for me, he doesn't work. And then you throw in like escort stuff with this kid, like no. That's why I didn't like Last of Us. I just couldn't. That mechanic of the gameplay just does not meld with me in any game. So that is my worry. And obviously, this game has escort-ish type stuff where you're with another character for a while and you're kind of battling together. Mm-hmm. I am the star of my movie, so like for me, it has to be about the character I'm controlling for the most part. That's why like I love Shenmue. Shenmue was like obviously a kind of janky game now, but I like Ryo. Like I liked his character from the beginning. And if you can't give me a character like that to control, and again, another Sony game, Uncharted. I like Nathan Drake a lot. I thought he was very charismatic. He was funny. His cast of characters to me is funny. Like, there is escort stuff in that, but because I like the character so much, I can deal with other things that I don't like as much. So, that's my worry with Ghost of Tsushima, is that I might not get attached to the main character, and that is going to ruin the game for me if that doesn't happen. And I'm worried about how linear and scripted it might be.
Yeah. So now I will say this though. So out of all of my inhibitions about this game, right? Like I mentioned earlier, the one thing that trumps all of it is that the fact that Sucker Punch is behind it. They do characters, they and all the fight scene stuff that I was worried about. Infinite different types of combat in the types of games that they do. So I don't doubt them being able to do it. I'm more worried about whoever the project planner is for this game and whether or not they allow them time to do the things that they know they're good at doing. Because you got to imagine the team that made Infamous going behind and making a combat engine for this game. There's no limit to the type of different things you'll be able to do gameplay wise. Yeah. If they were given a blank canvas and somebody just let them go forward and here the budget there's no limit on the budget, I think this would be a perfect game, to be honest with you. But depending on who's running it, there's no idea of how that's going to turn out.
Okay, valid point. So let's go to my next game that came out from Sony. Now this one caused a bit of a controversy, and I'll tell you why it was controversial to me as a gamer in just a moment. And that's The Last of Us 2. Like there was a controversial moment in the video package that we saw. And for me, that controversial moment came with the fact that the girl don't know how to use a goddamn silencer in the damn post-apocalyptic world. Right? Let me tell you something. You are in a world where you outnumbered like 5-1 and you don't have suppression fire. Joel, you suck.
Yeah, he was a bad teacher.
You see, I thought I was going to talk about something else, didn't you? Gotcha.
Well, you know, my Twitter feed is full of that crap, but it's okay.
Last of Us 2. If you're a fan, I think like from just looking at it from the outside looking in, I was not a fan of the first game because and that was for a simple reason. People were trying to act like this was a brand new story that told it something unique, and I'm like, no, it ain't. This is The Road mixed with The Walking Dead, and
pretty much,
I just couldn't get into it. That's not saying it wasn't a good game. For me, I couldn't get into it because I didn't like Joel at all. I would have shot him on purpose. So, I mean, I just couldn't latch on to anybody. I thought Ellie was cool, but I couldn't latch on to anybody. But that didn't mean that the game was horrible. The gameplay was horrible. I thought it was actually pretty good. Last of Us 2, what we saw, I thought they did a very good job. They did a good job of showing Ellie, because it's now years later, of course. And I thought from a gameplay, and I'm only talking about the gameplay wise, I thought from what they showed us, I thought it was actually pretty cool. The hiding, how the different characters were reacting. My only problem was I'm like, okay, this is this world. In this world, she would have known she would have needed some kind of suppression fire. She wouldn't have been walking around with no loud ass Glock 40 nickel plated.
Yeah, that kind of broke it for me too. There was a couple things in that fight scene that kind of broke it for me.
It just didn't make any sense. But you know what? I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt, because once again, I think that like from an entire story standpoint, I think they're gonna make it work. I just think that part they showed us from a gameplay perspective, just like it was just like, okay, dude, come on, man.
And the biggest thing is that it's not going to go down like that when you're actually playing the game.
Yeah, that too. I think a lot of people are giving it that.
It's like, because we see this happen every year when they show a game and they show this crazy like cutscene, or not cutscene, but like a gameplay segment or whatever, and it's like all this chattering and it's like perfectly timed and all that. That game will not go down like that when you're playing. Those people will submerge on you all at once. Yeah, Watch Dogs. Thank you. Like that whole sequence with the outside and the car and the club, going from the club to the outside.
Yeah,
and that was not happening in the game.
Anybody notice it was like way more fast paced? It looked a lot more like Uncharted than Last of Us. I thought. I guess what broke me, I mentioned this a couple of times on Twitter, that I'm like, so you go through this entire fight scene, you use zero suppression fire, you use an arrow for one of your sneak shots or whatever, but then you like almost leave his body there to be discovered. So I didn't understand that part. And then when you finally get into the fight scene where they chase you inside, none of them even attempt to look behind the counter where you were for the longest time. And then once they finally came around, you hide in some brush. Like they're showing this foliage because they want to show off the processing power of this system, right? And they want to show how great the AI is. You go behind this brush. Bushes are swinging every freaking where. Nobody notices.
Yeah, I mean, that happens in Uncharted too. It's just like, come on, you can't see me.
That kills me. I'm like,
yeah. And that's my problem with, games that are so focused on cinematics, because there's so many cinematic tropes that just annoy me in movies, and I don't want to see them in my video games.
Yeah.
So, and plus you can't suspend your disbelief if you're trying to set this up to be like a realistic world.
Right.
You can't suspend your disbelief. That's why I'm bringing up this whole suppression fire thing, because that's serious. If you are going out in this world and it's that deadly and it's that dangerous, you're not going to go out there. Proper preparation, people. You're not.
This dude he just filleted somebody hanging from a post.
Yeah, like, and you saw it.
You saw it happen, and you're gonna engage? Like,
no, you're gonna stealth. You're gonna use stealth the entire way and try to get out of there without killing nobody. You don't want to know. You don't want anybody to know that you were there. And while we're on the subject of hangings, I don't know what the hell was going on at E3 this year.
Oh man.
Yeah, a lot of people swinging for trees.
Yeah, like bro, game companies.
It's getting very dark out there.
Find another way to kill people, all right? Because this whole hanging junk, that's not cool. All right, there was way too many games with people dangling, and that just wasn't cool, in my opinion. But I digress. So
now a game that I expected that in the most only had it once, and it was at the beginning of the game, and that was Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, like you expect it in that, and then games that are at a certain time period.
Yeah.
But like to see people hanging like that at that rate
in the future. This is the future.
Yeah, like sure they got better ways to take people out. We got that now, so it's just it's just weird.
This ain't Red Dead. I'd rather see that in Red Dead because
Red Dead it makes sense. Like, but now and then in the future, like this is not.
Nah,
we're trying to make these social statements, and I'm like, this is supposed to be escapism. This is supposed to be a future where our society is beyond that. So I don't
just shoot them in the head or cut the head off like a normal person, like a normal evil bastard,
or cryogenically freeze them.
Yes.
Do something futuristic.
Yeah. Okay, so next game after Last of Us, and this is the game that I laugh when I hear people try to explain this to people, because Kojima is either trolling people or getting his famous celebrity friends to do weird stuff, and he's laughing. And that's Death Stranding. It's been 3 E3s. Nobody knows what this game is about. Nobody knows what this game is. But we know some weird stuff going on. Is this a horror game? Is this a survival game? Is this action? Is it? I don't know what it is.
The baby is an energy source. Walk around.
That was from the Matrix. And then like we still don't know what the beasts are. Whatever whatever those beast things are. Leah Sado, nice grab by the way, Kojima, nice grab. But I'm like what's she supposed to be? Who's she supposed to be?
Why she eating worms? What's going on? I don't understand.
Yeah, that's just funny. I think that's intentional too.
But the sad thing about it is people try to explain it like they're on this whole different intellectual level than anybody else. I'm like, no, you not. You just as confused as the rest of us.
Remember the hype trailers that came up before Metal Gear Solid 5 was announced. It was just the Phantom Pain.
Yeah,
and they kept showing all these lucid dreams and all this other kind of. I'm like, just announce the Metal Gear game. Just go ahead. But we have a new engine. Just announce the freaking Metal Gear game.
Yeah. We get Kojima's out there. We get it. Okay. Can we get a game now, please?
just say it's open world and it's okay. It's fine.
Like what this is reminding me of?
No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky. Because it's like obviously the very different games, but I'm talking about how people are reacting and what's happening with the game itself.
Yeah,
you go through all these E3s and showings, and you still don't know what the hell this game is about or what.
Intentionally cryptic.
Like this, that can work. Like that. That can work if it turns out to be like an amazing game, but that could also completely fail. Just ask the No Man's Sky people, because I was saying that over and over again, and people would get upset. Like, what is this game about? Oh, what are you talking about? You saw what I was about. People would be so mad when I was just asking simple questions like, what is the point of this game?
Sony told me to be excited for No Man's Sky. They told me to be excited.
It would cut my head off in the comment section about it. I'm like, why? First of all, why are you so defensive about this game that you know nothing about? You know as much as I do about. Why are you so protective? I don't understand. And
the backpedaling once the backlash actually happened,
right?
That was just magical.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
There was a small, maybe month or so of like denial and quote unquote damage control of it. Like, oh no, it's you guys don't understand how you got to play this game, blah blah blah. And then that all went away. It all went away, and it was like, see, I was asking the right questions, and nobody was answering them. And now you went out and spent that $60 like an idiot.
You mad?
And now you mad? And I'm trying to help you. I was trying to save you from doing that.
And T, to your point, I agree. It's been 3 E3s. And we have no idea what this game is.
Yeah. I mean, there's one thing to tease a game for a year, 2 tops. Yeah. You're pushing it at that point. Yeah. But 3 E3, and we still don't know.
That's a red flag.
That's red flag all day.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's cool to see Daryl from The Walking Dead getting work.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Pay him. Give him his check. So that's all good.
I mean, I know, like I said, and one of the things, they got another one of my favorite actors as the villain, Mads Mikkelsen. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, I want to get this game. I want to support you. But I'm not finna buy nothing that you don't tell me what it is.
Exactly.
I'm just not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that, Kojima. No.
There's a very good chance this turns out to be like a, Beyond Two Souls type of deal, or
that's what I'm thinking it's gonna be. Because
I think it's gonna be one of those types of games, and people are thinking it's gonna be like this kind of action. I saw no action.
Yeah, the only action I saw was him walking and hiding from the hands that he can't see.
Yeah, I guess that was so scary to me because that was so the year before that they just showed a cut scene of the supposed desert and they were attacking them, and that was obviously pre-rendered or whatever.
Yeah.
But now they show it in real time, or at least it appears to be real time. And like you're just walking amongst the empty field,
empty barren.
Yeah. I'm like, is this game even like remotely complete? That's kind of scary to me.
He has the worst job ever. He's a delivery boy in hell, basically.
Here's the thing about artists and whatnot, and people. We hate Konami for what they did to Kojima, and the same could be said for Fox and how they controlled George Lucas. He hated the studio system, blah blah blah. He wanted to get out and be able to do his own thing, and then we got the prequels. So like there's something Sometimes to be said about editing. Yeah, there's something to be said about constraints on your creativity, because you can go completely out there and create this mess if you don't have people controlling you and saying, no, you got to cut this. You can't do that.
But you have to understand the vision.
The vision.
Imagine what Metroid Prime would have been if Nintendo just said, go ahead.
Right. If they would just let Retro do whatever they were doing, like, who knows what we'd be right now? You mad about 5 years without Metroid? Like, it could be way worse than that.
Yeah.
So there's something to be said about a company keeping you under locks.
Yeah.
Because you can go too far.
You can't do this craziness.
Right. You can't go too far. Like, everybody needs to be edited in some way. Because if you just completely do whatever you want to do, you end up doing nothing sometimes.
Yeah, the game will never get finished.
It'll never be finished. Exactly.
That's true. Okay, so I want to get y'all thoughts on the Resident Evil 2 remake, because they actually put a date to it, January 25th of next year. So personally, because Resident Evil 2 is my favorite out of the entire series. It still is.
It's most people's favorite.
I think that game actually did a good balance of scaring the straight hell out of me and making me feel satisfied when I killed the alligator. So I'm personally looking forward to it, because back when they did Resident Evil 0 and they did the remake for Resident Evil 1, I was like, where's Resident Evil 2?
Yeah. And they're like, here it is, a direct port to GameCube. Like,
so I just need I just want my Resident Evil 2. I mean, I could give a damn about Resident Evil 1. I want Resident Evil 2. So, what do you guys think? Shadow?
So 2 also is one of my favorite games, and believe it or not, this is one of the games I didn't get around to finishing. So I need to get in there, because I have finished 2. Yeah, I have the GameCube version, but I never got around to finishing it.
Oh man, man, that's a classic, dude.
Oh yeah, there are a lot of mechanics I like in there, including character switching and whatnot. But there's some scenarios where I really think that the new engine, I'm guessing they're using the same engine Resident Evil 7 is using. Is that what they're?
No,
is that what they're intending to do?
No way.
It's a mix of 4 and 6.
Okay. Well, 4 and 6 sounds like pretty good too. Then I can deal with that.
They're using the over-the-shoulder thing from 4 with I forgot what it is they did in 6, but what was said when they asked the guy from Capcom.
Yeah, that definitely works. Then I think for that game, and then we're used to seeing Leon that way anyway. So yeah that would actually be pretty good. With that flip top, that's interesting. Interesting choice, but looking like the other Leon, the one from Virtua Fighter 2. That's neither here nor there.
With the world's worst first day ever. So T, what about you, T?
The game looks great. Like, it looks gorgeous visually, and I like the like you were saying they were using basically parts of 4 and 6 and putting that together in an engine.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea. My one, because you guys know my history with Capcom. If you watch some of the videos,
oh yeah, they're obviously your favorite developer.
They're my favorite. They're right up there with EA. My only problem with this is that it just feels like Capcom is also creatively bankrupt. Like, it's Resident Evil 2. Obviously, it looks great, but at the end of the day, it's Resident Evil 2. I know this story. I actually beat it on N64 after beating Resident Evil on Saturn. So I go all kind of crazy ways to play Resident Evil games as one system. I could have just played them all on PlayStation. But that's my only problem with this. And I'm just looking at Capcom as a whole, like in the last 5 to 7 years. How much new have we gotten from Capcom? Like actually really new.
Do you think that's a problem with just, I guess, their existing studios working on existing properties? Because they come up with new IPs and they have new stuff in them. They just never really do well.
Maybe that's the fault of gamers too. When you bring new stuff, people, I want some new, and they bring it and then you don't buy it. So
then Capcom's like, well, let's go back to the well.
Go back in the Monster Hunter. Let's drop another Monster Hunter. Which, at least Worlds looked a lot different from the previous ones. But
what do they do? Because they're in a pickle. Because they tried to do something different with Street Fighter V. We all know how that worked.
Well, it wasn't that they did something different. They just didn't do enough with Street Fighter V.
The problem with Street Fighter V
is the content wasn't there.
It wasn't finished because Sony.
Yeah, it wasn't finished.
Rushed it.
So that was the only real problem with that. And then you can say, well, what was Marvel
vs. Capcom? That was just that
3. Was no, it's not 3. What is it? Infinite.
Yeah,
Infinite, right? Like, it didn't do well, did it? I don't think.
No, hell no.
And that is a sequel. That is a property. You're talking about Marvel and Capcom together. I think that would be
that's a lot of money.
Winning formula.
When you leave out mutants, that's what happened.
Yeah, that hurt them. That definitely hurt them.
You leave out mutants. You leave out the X-Men. You leave out us X-Men. See what happens. Your game ain't gonna make no money.
I just think Fox is allergic to money. Apparently,
it's the fact that the way they explained it. Like nobody know. Like what?
They just walked away.
That was a terrible explanation for some. Yeah. You could have explained a lot better.
They had half an excuse. Wolverine died in Logan, so you can be.
Yeah, I just think that's my biggest problem with Capcom now is that a big portion of them right now is a port station. Like they're a port company, and when they do something new-ish, it's a remaster or reimagining. And like I said, I'm sure it's going to be great. But again, I played Resident Evil 2. I don't know how much new is going to be in this. Obviously, it's going to feel new because it's a new perspective and all that. But I'm going to buy it. I'm sure. But it's just like, am I just buying it because it's Resident Evil 2?
Man, I think in that new perspective, things could be changed though quite a bit. I think that would be pretty cool.
Gameplay wise, it's going to be very different, but I know where it's going.
I get it.
I know where it's going.
Yeah. Well, let me ask
you. That's going to take a little bit away from it,
Let me ask you this: do you think it's one of those situations where it's like a few years too late to do the remake?
I think everybody. This should have been out on like probably the 360 or late PS3.
Like right after RE5.
Yeah, or even early Xbox One, PS4. It seems like, why is it this late? It almost feels like, should I say Final Fantasy 7?
Yeah, it ain't like nobody hadn't been asking for Resident Evil.
Right.
People have been asking for. They've been begging them for it.
Yeah.
So they the ones that took their time on it. Now, that's why I'm like, I kind of see where you're coming from because like you, I beat it on the 64 and on GameCube.
Yeah,
so,
I beat it on GameCube too.
Oh, that's 64. Ooh.
Yeah,
with all the
cutscenes.
The alligator face.
It had everything in it. They squeezed everything onto that car. I don't know what
And
kind of
people were complaining.
magic.
Angel Studios, man. Angel Studios.
I remember them saying there was no way it could be done. And I'm sitting up there with an N64 in my dorm room, and we all scared as hell with baseball bats out.
Angel Studios called up Factor 5 and said, "How much for that Divic software?" They're like, "Free."
So, okay, so the last game I want to talk, because I want to end our little Sony talk on a good note. The Spider-Man game from Insomniac.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
that thing's beautiful, man.
But doesn't this seem backwards though? Doesn't it seem like Sucker Punch should have made this?
Probably.
That's what I was thinking.
That's so backwards. Like,
I think I said it in my video because I thought it was them, and it was like, wait a minute,
it's flopped.
Yeah, so Sucker Punch is doing the samurai game, and the other guys are doing
yeah. So I like the fact that they're actually bringing in Mr. Negative, because we haven't seen him before. I like the designs on the new of Electro and some of the other ones. Rhino actually looks scary, like he's supposed to look. So I'm looking forward to it, and I've heard that there is a Miles Morales sighting in this game. So this might get.
But you said, what's wrong with Rhino? You didn't like Paul Giamatti? Who's Rhino?
Man, don't
Wait a minute. How tall is that guy? Like
5'3".
Yeah. So this is the reason why Sony should never touch Sinister Six.
That was the worst. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Sony Pictures, that is. But the way they got it looking here, and in the gameplay does kind of remind me of Spider-Man 2 a little bit. The game. It does kind of remind me of that, but personally, I'm like the way they do it, the way it looks and it plays. I'm down for another web sling through Manhattan, personally. So
I'm just telling you now, if towards the end of this game you gradually get to fight with Iron Man, I like game of the year, like for real. Seriously. If he upgrades your suit and then shows up to help you fight, I'm done. Like that's enough for me. Wow. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough.
Because you're supposed to meet a few of the characters from the Marvel universe, and not all of them from the movie.
Well, they call it Marvel Spider-Man, so I would hope so.
Because and this is just a rumor. I've heard like you probably meet some people like Daredevil and Iron Fist and as well as cool Tony too. And all of them. Because like when you go like in the Marvel comic universe, like they're all based in New York.
Punisher, please, Punisher.
I would love him to be in that. I would love, because like one of the main villains is Kingpin. So I would love to see him in it.
Oh, we need to go back to those games too. We need to go back to the Punisher games.
We need that. There was one good one on what Xbox OG.
Yeah, old school Xbox.
Was that the one with Nick Fury in it?
I don't know. Wasn't Nick Fury in the game?
I think that was the one with Nick in it.
I think so. Yeah. I think you're right. Yeah.
Because they did it off of War Journal.
Yeah.
It's based off War Journal.
Yeah, he was in that one.
Yeah, so I'm all for it. And that's another thing. One of the games that people were complaining that wasn't at the show was Rocksteady Superman. The problem with Superman
isn't that still a rumor at this point?
Huh?
Yeah, it's a rumor. I don't know if I want Rocksteady.
They're doing it.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. I'm like, the problem is, and look, I think if anybody's going to pull it off, it's probably going to be them. But the problem with the Superman character, and me and T, we've said this on multiple occasions, they made him a broken character.
He's broken. He's too weak.
Like it's not like it's Goku, where like Goku in Dragon Ball, no matter what you say about him, he always has to fight to get to the level that his villain is at. Superman is already over that.
Yeah.
Unless he's on Krypton, and then that's no fun at all.
Which is why, like, I think like it's hard to do a video game based off him, because he's OP. He's the most. He is the most OP character in all of fiction.
Yeah. What are you gonna do with him? Like, there's other characters that are similar in power, not obviously not strength, that you can't do video games with then satisfyingly either. Like,
so, Captain Marvel,
like Green Lantern. Do I really want a Green Lantern video game? We already have one of those. Awful.
Yeah.
Like he just doesn't work as a main character in the game.
Like you have to. It's gonna be weird. That's why they work better in fighting games.
Yeah.
Superman should be a support character.
Yeah. You're gonna have him like be Clark Kent running around investigating stuff. Like,
I mean, what
are you gonna do?
Like, to me,
that's not gonna work.
If you're gonna do something like that, you would probably have to spend a little bit of time like that just to make it where.
I mean, you're gonna have to do that. Is what I'm saying. If you're gonna make a kind of a big open worldish type game with Superman, you're gonna have to Clark Kent him. You know,
it's either that.
You can't consistently. Go ahead.
There was one other scenario I could think of, but I really don't think anybody's budget would allow it. It would literally have to be all out war on Earth. Like every dark side, all the other super beings from other planets have to be there, and they're all bombarding Superman. He has to take each target out one at a time. Like you're fighting spaceships and all kind of craziness, and Earth is like pretty much destroyed. Like I don't know any other way to where the stakes would be up.
And then you're just looking at like a 3-dimensional beat 'em up at that point. Like,
yeah, and he's using his full powers, and because that's the only way he's not completely overpowered, because he's fighting other beings
at the same time. Okay,
yeah, that would be fun for me, but I just don't see.
Yeah, how do you do a whole game like that?
I'll do a whole game like that, you know. But will they do it? Like,
I think that will cost a lot of money.
Yeah,
you would have to, especially if you're gonna make it open world dish. Yeah, but. That was one of the games that wasn't there, and personally, I'm trying to reserve judgment. I just know the character itself is like I said, Superman was intentionally made that way, and it's messed up because people now that try to write him try to find ways to
weaken him,
and it just can't work. I mean, they've even gone so far as to basically say it was a person that destroyed his planet, a la Frieza. And I mean, at this point, I'm like, dude,
leave that alone. Leave that alone.
I'm like, okay, look, I get it, but I had to blame DC for that because DC made the most OP character in all of fiction. So that's the price we pay.
It was a time of war. People needed a hero.
Yeah, they needed
Marvel did Captain America. They did Superman.
Yeah, but Marvel made Captain America beatable and killable. So
Captain America can be beaten. You know, way easier than you could beat Superman.
Yeah.
But I'm not just hating. Superman is my favorite superhero character. So I'm not hating on him as a character, but I understand that. You know, because he's not flawed, he has flaws. If you follow,
and that's the flaw.
Yeah, that's the flaw, is that he's not flawed.
Yeah. So here's the one that here's the showcase that pretty much solidified people hating me for a week.
Ubisoft.
Ubisoft's gonna do it. I'm gonna do Ubisoft after this. Nintendo, the Nintendo showcase. So did I think it was the best thing since sliced bread? No. Did I think it was the worst thing of the show? Hell no. Was I mad that they spent 20 minutes on, actually 25 minutes on Smash Brothers? No, because they reported that they were going to be, it was a large chunk going to be dedicated to Smash Brothers. And before anybody says, well, that doesn't, well, they still shouldn't have did that. There was other games I wanted to know about. I'll put it to you like this. And I will use the same analogy I used before we went live. If I tell T that T, I'm coming to see you, you know, I said I'm coming to see you. When I show up, you mad because Shadow ain't there. Explain to me why you mad. I never told you I was coming. I said I was coming.
Where's Shadow? I want to see Shadow.
Yeah. So why? And that's all. I'm gonna leave it at that because in my mind, in
your mind, I avoid social functions.
Yeah. Well, no, you wasn't ready to show up. You wasn't there. But I ain't never say I was coming with you.
Yeah.
I never told anybody that. I just said I told you I was coming. So that's the thing. A lot of people got upset about Smash Brothers being that. But my thing was, and I mean no disrespect to anybody who has, and I'm not trying to tell you you can't have an opinion or you can't voice when you are upset. My thing is simply this. If somebody tells you this is going to take place, how can you then be mad when said thing takes place that they said they were going to do? It would be different if they said, okay, we're going to have Bayonetta 3, Metro Prime 4, they're playable, and then it didn't show up. I wouldn't say nothing because I'd be right there with you, mad as hell. Mm-hmm. But they never said that. They never said that. And personally, I thought it was going to be a longer segment with Smash Bros. In it because I thought they were going to do a full 30 minutes. They didn't.
Yeah. So my thing about it was, and we said this also before the podcast started. Like, if you've been following Nintendo for longer than a year, they've been doing this since 2014 when everybody thought that they couldn't compete anymore by doing this format, and now Sony's doing it. But go figure. Yeah. if you look at what they had going on and their official statements that they put online and whatnot, their focus is for games that are going to be playable on the show floor and available throughout 2018. Like, and they mentioned that the showcase, well, basically the Nintendo Direct. So they treating it like a Nintendo Direct, number one, and they're mentioning that future titles for the Switch will be mentioned on there. So at that point in time, the focus is 2018, which means the show floor is pretty much not going to have anything that's ready to show that's going to launch after this year. So you know that for the most part, and you also know that anything that they show in the Direct is going to be lightly focused on stuff that's in the future, if they show it at all, and everything else is going to be dead center, laser focused on what's about to release soon. And since Smash is one of those things, even though it's December or what have you, that's their key focus. That's their killer app for this year. So why wouldn't they? And once I saw that, I was like, okay. And then even if you told me that it was going to be 25 minutes and I'm talking about Smash before this, I might have been like, man, really? And then once I watched it though, and I'm like, I couldn't wait to see more. They kept showing thing after thing after thing, every detail. And I'm like, 20 minutes went by that quick? Oh, okay. Really? Oh, okay. All right. Shokyo am cry.
And Shadow, I think the perfect meme after that. The Super Smash Brothers Sakurai Shut the Hell Up edition.
Yes. All of your complaints are addressed. Leave. Yeah, no Waluigi for you.
So yeah, that was the only thing. And look, like once again, because you have to say this 3 or 4 times because some people gonna mince my words. I'm not saying you can't have an opinion. I'm not saying you can't get upset. I'm just saying it would be different if they did not tell you. You were told. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. You were told, so spare me the fake outrage.
I mean, it's still in black and white on their site. Like, you can go to their page. It's still in black and white. Like, yeah. They didn't change it.
Multiple outlets said that. So once again, and it's not like they didn't show you nothing new. Here's one game that's a brand new IP. Damon Cross Machina.
And you say thank you for that because they didn't have to show that.
Yeah. Love the Treehouse for that, by the way. I will be picking that up day one. Fire Emblem, 3 Houses, 2019. One of the games that people said they needed to show at E3.
Yep.
On there. Super Mario Party. I don't like Mario Party games just because I just don't. That's not my style. But a lot of people love that. Okay,
it's gonna sell, but it's bad for me.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like there wasn't like new IPs and stuff that you didn't know was gonna be there. They showed it, so I'm gonna stop. I'm not even gonna talk about Smash Bros. In this, but I will talk about the fact that Dragon Ball FighterZ is coming to Switch after.
It is.
No, it's too weak to be on the Switch though. That's what Twitter says.
And so Bandai Namco, y'all, that wasn't even right because y'all said that y'all couldn't do it. That's what y'all said. So I bought it on the Xbox because y'all said y'all couldn't do it. I am not buying Soul Calibur 6 because y'all said that was the same Soul Calibur 6 that y'all said for Dragon Ball FighterZ. I will wait.
That's what every developer said about the Wii U too until they actually bought a development kit.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, y'all said the same thing.
You won't be able to say that anymore.
Yeah,
you'll come up with all kind of creative excuses.
Yeah, so I'm not getting Soul Calibur 6 now, and
I'm gonna wait on that too.
I'm gonna wait because y'all said the exact same thing when people asked y'all about fighters that y'all said well it can't be done or you need to ask the publisher and they'll be able to. Nah, I'm not doing none of that.
On what planet?
Yeah,
would Bandai Namco be stupid enough? I mean, just dumb to not port or whatever, Soul Calibur 6 to the Switch with all the fervor behind
2.
there's no way.
really,
Like, how could you, and excuse me, what was the most popular selling version of Soul Calibur 2?
GameCube.
The GameCube one, the lowly GameCube with the lowest install base,
With
but
22
it had who in it? It had Link in it, and Link game just is what 9 million strong now. Like, there's no way you pass that money up. There's no way you put Link in. Starlink is going to sell 2 million more copies because Star Fox is
because the Star Fox is in it. Yep.
Easy. So there's no way you're going to be that dumb to not bring Soul Calibur with Link in it to the Switch. You out of your damn mind.
And to get
I think that was a black eye.
You had to sweeten the pot a little bit by adding Ganon just to,
or Ganon. Add
appease
Ganon.
people.
Like, they both
That's the
did
only
so
way
well.
some people are going to buy it again. They're not going to double dip it unless you put Link and Ganon in there.
They may not tell you, it's coming to the Switch because they want to get your dollars on the other console.
Yeah.
In case you got a Switch too, you double dipping. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what they want you to do. I get that.
I understand why they didn't port 4 and 5 to the Wii U, right? Even though they could have made money if they put Link on that, right?
Yeah.
But Soul Calibur 2 HD, like that didn't even cost you money to make. You didn't even distribute that physically. Like,
wouldn't even
port that to the Wii U and get that extra bread.
Right. I mean, I never understood that either. So
I don't understand it. I was like,
that would have been number one on the eShop.
Was defiant about doing it. Was like, don't ask us. Like, really, bro?
Yeah.
Like,
that was a check writing itself, and they didn't want to do it. All you had to do was just port that to the Wii U. Like, the game's already done. Just put it in HD on the Wii U.
That's pretty much what they did on the because I got it on Xbox because it was a one of those free games I got for Xbox Live.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically all they did. They didn't add none of that game.
No, they just put it in HD and said run, go.
That's all they did. So don't act like you. It's not like one of those situations where it's like a Resident Evil 2 where they actually remaking stuff and putting different engines,
making new assets and all that. Yeah.
No. They ain't do that for Soul Calibur. It's a straight up. Here's 720 and 1080. Be happy.
Yeah.
So that's that. But
let me, if I may, play devil's advocate as far as the Nintendo fans reacting to the conference or whatever, the direct.
Go for it.
If you don't care for Smash Brothers, you might really have not liked that E3, or not the E3, but the
direct.
So, because I almost don't even remember some of the other stuff that showed because Smash was so much of the direct itself. Like, it was almost you could have had a Smash Direct, and it would have been like a nice full Direct. Which, like, I get why there was so much Smash because leading up to it, people were, this is just going to be Smash Ultimate, Smash Ultimate, and so they had to really explain that. But at the end of the day, that's kind of on you. Like, that should have been the first thing you said about Smash when it came out. When you let people know Smash was coming, is that this is going to be all new. I mean, the Inkling trailer, that was cool and all, but you left people wondering too much, and that's why you had to clean up with making such a long.
Here's the problem with us. So we created that storm because us as quote unquote, I guess you can call us pundits. We said you didn't explain thoroughly enough what the Wii U is about, and that's why nobody bought it. I still don't buy that excuse, but so now Nintendo is thinking that they're at least taking some credence to that. So anytime they think there's any type of discrepancy about how they could sell a product, they're going to overkill. Now, I don't know if you noticed that about Switch and some of the games. Like, they went into overkill about 1-2 switching arms because they're like, these are new IPs. We got to pimp this. And we don't know if they're going to, and we put a lot of money into this, making sure that we can sell this in this system and whatnot. So they are like going into overkill and directs, telling you every inch about these games. And they're doing it for DLC now. Yeah. So it's like, really, I think they learned a lot. They couldn't just say, it's another Wii and it's an HD now, and you got a screen. Like, they really have to tell the idiots in the room this is what this is.
But again, on the other side of that, we have gotten and we'll continue to get Wii U ports. So
yes.
I understand where people would come from thinking that this might. I think most of the people I was talking to was thinking this was gonna be, Smash 4 Ultimate. You get the 3DS versions pushed in with the Wii U version, and people were happy with that. That would have been fine. I think a lot of people
went out of their way. They went out of their way to tell you that is not what that is.
But exactly. But it's kind of their own fault that they had to do that because of the fact we were getting Wii U ports leading up to this direct. I mean, we still got Captain Toad coming, so I understand where they're coming from and why they did what they did. I totally understand it. But again, at the end of the day, if you're not a Smash fan, you were left pretty wanting with this direct. Yeah. And you mentioned Fire Emblem. We all thought Fire Emblem was 2018 game. This was a new thing and a revelation that it's a 2019.
Got pushed to 2019.
Yeah, it got pushed back.
I myself don't mind because damn, we got plenty of stuff coming, man. Yeah. Octopath. Like we got,
you're gonna be push those type of games out though. You don't want to push the type of a Fire Emblem game out like that quick though. No. Like it's not.
No, I don't mind that they did it. But what I'm just saying, the narrative is that okay, well, Fire Emblem, which was supposed to come out this year, that took a little bit away from it because it's coming out next year, right? So it took a little bit away from this year as well, as far as the presentation, because we all knew Fire Emblem was gonna be announced, so it wasn't a surprise. The surprise was that you ain't getting it as soon as you thought you was getting it.
Yeah.
So to a lot of people, that's a downer. That was a downer for some people,
which is understandable,
right? But, so I think so. You have that. So you're left with a new IP, which looks amazing, by the way. How you say it?
Damon Cross.
Damon Cross
Machina.
Because I took religious world religion class in college, and we pronounced it Diamond because it's it's basically Aramaic. It's a derivative of Aramaic, and it's about it means demon. Diamond means demon. So so it's like demon cross machines. I think that's what it. I think that if you were to do a straight up translation on it, it would be demon cross machine or whatever. It'd be something like that. Which
since it kind of already got translated, I thought it was more on the IT side of things. Like you were just saying that it was like an interpretation.
Yeah,
like Damon as in the process.
Shadow, I think your mic is jacking up again.
Yeah,
awesome.
Sputtering. Yeah, you're sputtering.
You sound like T-Pain.
T-Pain in pain.
Yeah.
All right, is it better now?
So you had that. Yeah, you're great.
All right.
So you got that. You got that. And then we got Dragon Ball Fighter Z, but it was like a blip. It's like you blink, you might have missed that announcement. And then you got Super Mario. Look at me, Super Mario Party, which is cool, but it was up in the air about the online because you didn't know at the time when that was going on. Being that Nintendo hasn't done it yet, and for good reason. I understand because a lot of people ain't gonna sit there and play a complete board game online. I understand why they don't do it like a complete version of the game online because some people will just jump out of it, and then what happens to the game?
Yeah, because when that happens, that'll mess the whole game up.
Right. So I understand why they haven't done it. I guess they're doing a kind of for this one. I think they're doing kind of a basically a different mode where you're going to be doing like the mini game stuff.
They're basically saying, okay, we're going to give y'all online, but we're going to see how this goes.
Right.
Yeah.
That's basically what they're doing.
And to me, the biggest thing to me, okay, and I wasn't really expecting like major surprises or anything. Mm-hmm. The biggest thing to me though, I expected maybe one. I thought we get one or two tops, and I thought for sure we get either a Retro's next IP. And I'm not mad that we didn't get it. Don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. We get some information on that, which we didn't. Which whatever. As long as they're making it and it's going to be cool, I'm fine. But Metroid Prime 4. And here's the thing, because Nintendo does not do this. They announced Metroid Prime 4 last E3. Yeah. And to me, it's weird that you get nothing at the next E3 because Nintendo doesn't like to let you to string you along. Yeah. So for the fact that they put it out there, know what the fans are going to do. You're like, all right,
that was a big mistake. They shouldn't have never.
That's a big mistake. Again, that is on them. You can't get mad at fans for expecting Prime 4, even though they say, because they go into directs and stuff saying, well, this is what the focus is, but they'll still throw you a bone here and there.
Yeah, they throw stuff out there.
Right. So I think that's the biggest thing. If you're complaining beyond that, then because you wanted Star Fox Grand Prix, or something else like Animal Crossing, there was no inkling of that at all.
But Reggie admitted that that's what they did. They basically pulled a Wii U, the Xenoblade Chronicles X thing, like that.
Right, I was thinking that
they pulled that. They said they had to do that at that time because they were advertising the console that had just launched or whatever.
Right.
So that was their focus to say, look, we're committed to, like, we're doing long projects on this console. I guess that's kind of his wording. Obviously I'm paraphrasing, but he was basically saying that was the whole purpose of them putting that out there. So they did that with Metroid Prime 4 and Yoshi apparently, which is also going to be a 2019 game, which I'm like, okay, you didn't show that at all either. But
and here's the thing, because Nintendo will say, we don't want to show game is not ready, blah blah blah.
Yoshi's
when
ready.
When did that start? When did Yoshi ready? Like Yoshi is ready.
That's
you could have showed some more. You didn't have to show a lot. You could have showed some more. And even Metroid Prime, again, because you mentioned it, they've shown Metroid Prime in a little CG clip before.
They showed Star Fox Guard before it was Star Fox Guard. They showed Star Fox Zero when it was just like bare polygons. It was
right. So you've done it. Don't tell me you can't show it because it's not ready.
You've done it before.
You've done it.
That's one of those situations where he got caught with his foot in his mouth.
Yeah. Like if you could just, and it's not his fault because he's not the one. I don't think he's the one making those decisions.
No, that's NCL.
Right. So Nintendo themselves could have like, all right, whoever's working on it, Bandai Namco, whoever's working on the game, they could have been like, all right, give us a CG trailer, give us a little clip of a cutscene or something, just something. It wouldn't have took much. We know the game. Most people know the game wasn't coming this year, so that's all you would have needed. And I think most people would have been more satisfied with the event.
Well, dude, they showed a Photoshop and played the original theme.
Exactly, I could have done that. And After Effects, as 10 minutes in After Effects.
They went in Adobe Photoshop, put Metroid Prime in 4, played the original theme to 1. And people lost
their damn minds.
It's like, oh my god, this plug-in for motion looks so real.
Seriously, motion.
This is how the gameplay gonna be. They didn't show you nothing.
Nothing.
But yeah, I agree. They did that to themselves because they shouldn't have did it. Like that was my main thing. And anybody bring that up, I'm like, they shouldn't have did that last year. I remember I did a cast with Rule 2 review, and I'm like, they shouldn't have did that last year. I mean, am I happy for it? Yeah, it's cool to know that we getting a Metroid game. Fine. But if you know how your fan base is.
You know what they should have done? They should have flipped what they did with the Metroid announcements. Metroid Samus Returns should have been in the direct because it wasn't, right?
It wasn't.
Yeah, it was in the treehouse.
And they should have put Metroid Prime 4 in the treehouse.
Just randomly.
Just randomly say, we are working on Metroid Prime 4 while they're talking to you about Metroid Samus Returns. Yeah. That would have been the best way to go. And then this year, if you didn't show anything, you would have been fine.
You would have been fine. Because a lot of people, a lot of people, they don't watch them Treehouse Directs.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
And that's the other thing. When I tell people the reason why I think Nintendo does a better job than most people do at E3 is because of those Treehouse Live events. Because Treehouse Live, nobody else does this. Yeah. You get a deep dive with with 2 people from the development team and them playing the game while they're talking to them.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else does that. Ubisoft don't do it. Activision don't do it. Sony don't do it. Microsoft don't do it. Nobody else does it but them.
Yeah, they try to do it, but it's nowhere near as in depth. They do a little side thing.
It seems like half-handed.
It's so half-handed. Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about 30 minutes a clip. Some of them more.
Right. Because nobody touches Nintendo. As far as E3 itself, Nintendo is untouchable, and they've been for a few years now. Yeah, at least 4 years now. So, we are just talking about the presentation / the direct.
Yes. So that's why I think, like, personally for me, the showcase, while it wasn't the best thing on Earth, I thought it was okay. And like I say, I completely understand if you don't like Smash Bros. I completely understand because some of y'all like games that I don't understand how this game is popular. But
I know a lot of people who don't like Smash. They love Nintendo, but they're not Smash people. And I get that. I totally get it.
But I don't get mad, when your game.
Yeah, when you get mad, that's different. Like I was disappointed, but I wasn't mad.
That was my thing. Like I don't get mad when the game that you like gets pimped. I don't get mad when they do a whole direct for your game. I don't get mad. I just watch it, be like, that's interesting.
Here's why I don't get mad, especially as a Switch owner. Yeah, I bought 2 games last week. I bought 2 games last week, and I'm looking at the end of this month, and I'm like, I'm buying at least 4 more games. Just this month. This game in 1 month I'm purchasing. So I'm not worried about the output that's happening on the Switch.
But that's the other thing too. Like Nintendo's releasing games through E3. Like they got stuff like stuff's coming out like right now.
Oh yeah, games that you already played that you getting full full game content DLC for those games. Yep. Octopath
Traveler.
Octopath Traveler, but I want to say the Octo expansion for
Splatoon,
which is awesome, by the way.
I gotta play that, by the way.
Awesome. And then we mentioned Xenoblade Chronicles 2's DLC. Like, looks crazy. Like, come on. Like, there's no problems as far as the actual content you're getting this year. It was just the content of the direct. That was a little iffy.
But even then though, like I guess the issue is that it went by so fast, but there was a lot of stuff announced like in the first like 2-3 minutes.
Yeah.
It just went by like second after time. Like it was like, hey, Damon X Machina gone by next game.
Like,
and we just
be late.
Yeah, and it was like, what was it? Let's see, it was close to 20 minutes before the Smash Direct. Minutes. Basically,
no, the Smash thing was 25.
Before we got to the Smash
20 minutes before they got to it. Yeah.
So it was 17. It was 17 minutes before they got to it.
So
because the whole thing's 42 minutes.
Right.
So it's 17 to 25.
Right. So if you're watching it, and again, if you're one of those people who don't care about Smash, you got 17 minutes, and then you got a block of Smash, a game you don't really care about. So even I wouldn't get mad. Again, I understand people saying that it got bogged down for them, especially if you're not a Smash fan. So but the direct was, like you said, it was okay. I thought it was an okay direct, and for me, it felt like it was just any other direct that Nintendo would put out.
Yeah, it was a normal direct.
Yeah,
I mean, I want Robot Chicken guys to come back. God damn it!
And I think the problem is, this is E3. Well, E3 is kind of changing at this point, especially for Nintendo. It's changed a long time ago. Yeah.
I mean, if you haven't been paying attention, E3 is pretty much changing.
I mean, look at Sony. Look what Sony's doing now.
Yeah.
Like
everybody's doing it. But that's everybody's doing it. They come up with their own conference. They show this long, awkward video. They may cut to somebody standing somewhere. They
learn people don't care about your spreadsheets or who's pressing the share buttons and all the nonsense. They don't care about that stuff. They just want to see games and get me out of here. Respect my time, please.
Yeah. Especially. So that being said, with all that being said, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Torn of the Golden Country expansion. Now they're giving a physical edition for it. So it comes out September 14th if you bought the season pass. Physical copy goes September 21st. If you watched, and if you're a fan of Xenoblade, please watch the 2
direct
Treehouse lives they did on it. It's a completely different gameplay style.
Yeah.
So there's a physical copy coming with all that in.
That's crazy.
No, I think it's just that game. It's just the Torn of the Golden Country game.
So it's gonna be like a separate game.
It's a separate game. Yeah.
That's bananas. So you could just play that as like an infinite fighting game.
Different game.
God,
that is prequel to what happened in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It's basically what happened the 500 years before.
Yeah, I was confused, but I was confused because I thought it was going to be like Donkey Kong expansion on the Rabbids, where it's just they just put it all on a cartridge, so you don't have to download anything. That's what I thought.
You got people calling Mithra Numa and all that. So
because
man.
Because they're gonna be, it's a whole, it's basically, like in what is it, chapter 7, 8, and 9, when they talk about 500, they're gonna show you exactly what happened.
So I didn't buy the season pass. So I might just wait on that and just buy the
because if you ain't buy the season pass, you might because it comes out September 21st physical.
Yeah, you got a better deal, T.
Yeah, you actually did. Well,
wait on that.
Depends because like I'm actually loving and hating challenge mode at the same time.
Well, the pricing, how much did they call? They say how much it's going to cost.
They didn't say yet.
See, I might not have a better deal.
But you get a physical, you get something to hold in your hand, and there's no point in me buying it again. So.
Yeah, I'm not getting it because I got the season pass, so I'm good. This is probably gonna be, if anything, I would think it's gonna be $19.99 or something like that. They didn't even say the Treehouse didn't even say how long it is. I'm pretty sure they didn't beat it by now, but it didn't say how long it was. So
it maybe maybe a little more, maybe it's 25 or something like that.
Yeah.
But to me, that's worth it to have the physical copy of it.
Yeah, basically. And like I said, if you have a chance, if you are a fan of that game, please watch the Treehouse for it because it doesn't play like Xenoblade Chronicles 2 plays. It plays a little different. So
it plays like go find all the what do you call those? The super bosses. Go find all the super bosses because that's every fight is going to be like that.
So what about the challenge mode? Is that all in there? Or is that...
the challenge mode's in the season pass.
That's on the season pass.
That's on the season pass. It's actually it's fun, but I'm noticing that I usually go into the room to get killed so I can see if I got to get the right.
I heard it was rough. I heard it was a little hard, a little tough.
Yeah, even the normal stuff because they coming in waves.
Yeah.
So and when you go in, you don't know who you're fighting.
Yeah, and some of the fights are handicapped too, so you might go in there and you can only have like 2 people in your party or something.
Yeah, so you have to get your best too. So like right now, I'm replaying the game, and I haven't gotten Zeke yet, and I need to go get Zeke before I go back in that challenge mode because I'm not doing it with freaking Nia. So,
oh man,
so yeah, it's one of them situations. I'm liking it though, but yeah, it's a little weird. So, but Shulk and Fiora do play 5. They do.
Oh, this is crazy.
I like that. So because they made them blades, so I do kind of like that. But
it makes sense that they're blades.
I just want to throw out there for those who think the Switch isn't portable enough. I came upstairs to do this podcast with you fellas. I put my Switch in my pocket. Forgot it was there. I'm laying on the floor and on my stomach, and I forgot it was in my pocket. I didn't even feel it.
So shout out Cast 29. Jay was on that podcast with me, and somebody was in the chat saying that the Switch is not portable enough to fit in your pocket, and I literally put it in my pocket on live on air.
Yeah,
maybe a jeans too tight, but
I mean, because nowadays that's supposed to be the style. I wear baggy clothes, so mine fit in my pockets.
I'm a 90s kid.
I'm a 90s kid.
We wear baggy pants.
Yeah, we don't wear tight stuff. So yeah, so that's that. The last game that I actually want to talk about is that Starlink Battle for Atlas. Here's the thing: I was not going to get that game.
They got you.
I wasn't.
Yeah. That music started playing.
You crafty little.
They hit you with that apple. One more thing.
You crafty
oh man.
Because, like I said, I wasn't gonna get it until they pull out another trailer. I'm like, y'all showing another trailer? I'm like, yeah, it looked good. I mean, I like the dogfight aspect of it, but I don't know none of these characters. Why do I hear Star Fox from SNES?
Oh yeah, straight up R-Wing showing up and everything, pulling up.
Yeah. So now I pre-ordered it. I already pre-ordered it when I said Amazon. So,
Ubisoft sitting over here like, why ain't you other developers getting like us?
Yeah,
like get on this Nintendo train.
Like we finna make bank.
That Mario Rabbids, come on.
We got Mario Rabbids. We got Donkey Kong in our game. Like we
finna make bank.
Who went after Star Fox? Did Nintendo go to them or did they go to Nintendo?
I think they went to Nintendo.
They went to Nintendo. I'm gonna tell you, they went to Nintendo and said, "We have this concept of throwing Star Fox in our game, Starlink," and they convinced Nintendo.
You could tell. You could tell for the Mario Rabbids team when they started getting their awards and stuff or whatever. When they were accepting their awards for that game, was it BAFTA? One of those award shows or whatever. Yeah. They were like literally crying on stage, saying that it was a dream come true or whatever. They didn't think Nintendo would accept it. And then the same thing happened at E3 over here when they were talking about Starlink. They were crying about that too, like on stage, like it was my dream to, oh man. So they're coming to Nintendo.
They putting the blueprint out there for these third-party companies. If you have a game that a Nintendo character can remotely fit into, get in where you fit in, man. Quit playing around and make it happen. Ask them and make it happen.
Because the thing about Starlink is a lot of people think, oh, it's just going to be special missions. No, Fox is, from what they said at the Treehouse, he's playable from the time that game starts.
Yeah, and it makes sense in that game because you're visiting other galaxies, so it makes sense.
And they have specific missions for the Star Fox crew.
Yeah, so the thing is, like, he's playable from the get, and on top of that, it's like they have missions specifically for the Star Fox team. So I'm like, okay, yeah, a lot of people are going to get the Switch version.
Yeah,
I'm looking at this game like, why would I get any other version?
Yeah,
why? Why would I do myself like that? Why would I do that?
Yeah, so and to hear those, and like you said, to hear those guys talk, like, dude was like, and then they brought Miyamoto at the Ubisoft conference. They had him there and gave him one of the Arwing replicas, and they were like, dude, thank you.
Like, can I get one of those?
And I was like, yeah, man.
But you gotta imagine they're gonna make bank either way. So if for whatever reason, the Nintendo version sells a lot and the other versions flop or whatever,
they covered.
They're covered anyway because the majority of the game stores are going to buy a crap load of copies based on the Nintendo pre-orders, but they're not going to. They're too stupid to pre-order all of them for the Nintendo Switch version.
And you know what's going to happen if that scenario happens where the other versions don't do well? Starlink 2 will be what? Exclusive. $20. It will be exclusive.
Yeah, it'll be exclusive because and that's the thing. Like I looked at that and I'm like, you know what? Look. I like the way Starlink even looks. Like,
I liked it from the beginning. I was in from the beginning.
Yeah, I like that style.
I was like, this actually looks good. Before they even said anything about Star Fox, I'm like, this actually looks good.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll probably pick this up once it hits on sale.
I like space shooters, so that.
But then they added making their own amiibos, and I had to go straight to Amazon.
I didn't know they had little character. Oh man, why y'all do this to me, man?
Yeah,
why y'all all in my wallet like this?
So the other thing before we get out of here, because we're getting a little long here. There is another Assassin's Creed game coming out, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, 300 edition.
Mario
basically, look, I'm planning on getting this one. I'm a huge mythology nut. I love Greek mythology, so I'm actually looking forward to this one. If you have a chance, check out the the trailer on Ubisoft YouTube channel. They also have a 8-minute gameplay reel where you get to see some gameplay. It's an interesting concept, and I'm actually looking forward to this. I haven't said this about an Assassin's Creed game in a long time. I'm actually looking forward to picking this one up. So I'm looking forward to that. I just had to bring that up because that's another one of those games that I enjoyed from the actual show this year.
Just like Twitter, can you ride a horse everywhere and can you climb every surface?
I don't care. I want to kill. I want to kick somebody in the chest, man. I want to kick somebody down a water hole, man. I want to kill people.
They'll probably do it
as a Greek soldier.
It'll probably be selective. Like it'll probably be there'll be certain areas where you could probably traverse a lot of stuff, and then there'll be certain areas where you magically can't go up there.
Yeah.
So
and I want to fight a Minotaur. So
yes, there will be a Minotaur.
Oh man.
There will be fake battles where you're the only person really doing anything, and the other people are just NPCs boiling on each other, and nobody's dying.
That's my question. I didn't really get. I didn't really see a whole lot on Odyssey. I mean, I know what it's about. Is it going to be mythological, or is it going to be straight up like?
It looks like a mix of both.
A mix.
Or it's going to be a mix.
It looks like it's going to be a mix because they showed a trailer. And at the end of it, the main, because you get to pick what sex your character is. You're either going to be Alexios for male or Cassandra for female. And they showed at the end of one of the trailers the Minotaur waking up. You're in the cave of the Minotaur.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like straight stepping into Animus to be Kratos, basically.
That's a buy. That's
So I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm looking forward to it because I haven't bought a Assassin's Creed game in a while. I think the last game I bought was Black Flag.
Yeah,
I bought Black Flag and it's still in a shrink wrap. I have no
Jesus!
Black Flag was actually fun. That was a fun game.
Well, it's only because I was so underwhelmed by 3. Like 3 pulled me in because of the setting too, and that's what kind of worried me about Odyssey. Is like, oh, I like the setting, but I got fooled once. Shame on me. Yeah. Shame on you. You fooled me once, but second time it's gonna be on me.
And so fool me can't be fooled again.
Exactly. You know what I'm talking about. You can't be fooled again.
So
I didn't want that to happen. So that's what worried me. And so Black Flag just sat. It's still sitting in a shrink wrap.
You might want to try it because like I had fun with Black Flag.
Yeah.
I actually had fun with it. But then again, I like Charles Vane and Ed Teach and all them. So I know a little bit about pirate history a little bit. Mm-hmm. So I kind of liked what they did with it, but I mean, but then again, that's just me. I'm a history nut sometimes. So,
I love that stuff too.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like, and since I haven't gotten one in years, and my brother was telling me how good Origins was, I'm like, let me try out Odyssey. So I'm actually looking forward to that one. And the only other one from Ubisoft that I'm actually looking forward to is the Division 2. That one got me. That one kind of pulled me in at their conference. I'm glad it's next year that it's coming out because
no love for Shawnee.
No
love for Shawnee.
No,
and no love for BG&E too. Okay.
Now, well, I would, but I'm like, okay, hold on, man. Y'all changing too much. I need to see some more story stuff because I'm scared. You know I'm gonna buy the game. Shadow, why you acting like that? You know good and well I'm gonna buy that game. You know good and well that I'm buying that game. I'm gonna be mad all the way to register.
I think a copy for the GameCube version is still over $200 right now.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, yeah, it's ridiculous. But I want to know more because somebody said it was a prequel.
Yeah, it's before she was born. So I think you're one of the playable characters is her mom.
Okay, so yeah, that's the thing. I'm gonna buy that one, but it didn't like the Division and Assassin's Creed for some reason pulled me in more than that one did. Even though I did like that trailer, I did like the trailer they showed for it, but it's just I don't know what it was. Like those two games kind of just pulled me in a little bit more.
I think the engine reveal last year was probably better marketing than
what they
yeah.
So that's just me from that. Now, as far as the show as a whole, I thought it was a good show this year. I thought we got a lot of good stuff. I thought especially as a gamer, I thought we got a lot of good titles. I'm glad they gave us some concrete release dates. Hopefully they don't change. The only one that needs to change is Smash Bros. Need to get pushed up.
Yeah.
The other than that, I think we got
the date. I didn't like the date either. That was
yeah. I thought we got.
But they're usually off like that.
Though.
Yeah.
Well, I think the only thing about that date is I think people were expecting it to drop with the online.
Yeah.
And I think that's why there was some people who were voicing concern about that. But other than that, I'm like, if he needs that time to fix to make sure Subspace Emissary 2 works, fine. So
yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't mind. It's just my expectations was Smash in September and Fire Emblem in December slot. I thought
that's what I thought.
I thought it was gonna
You just brought up a big concern though, Jay. What launches with the online stuff though?
I don't know anything launches with it because the only thing coming out in September.
There's stuff we don't know about that's coming this year. There's stuff we still don't know.
The only thing that I know that's coming out in September is Xenoblade Chronicles 2, the Torn of the Golden Country, which they for some reason decided to make a physical copy for. That's the only thing.
Is there a Call of Duty announcement we don't know about or something? Like what are they?
November.
Yeah. What are they gonna?
I have no idea.
They could very well. This is wishful thinking, most likely. They could very well drop Metroid Prime HD trilogy.
Yeah.
And have the
online
multiplayer for 2 online.
Yeah.
They could totally mess us up by doing that. So
and that could work because they kept saying that there are a lot of, and this was backed up by people from IGN and GameSpot and other Nintendo websites that there was a lot more that's supposed to be coming out in the next few months that we haven't even seen trailers for.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot more. So I when I did my assumptions, I assumed Smash Bros was dropping in September with the online, because I'm like, you need a big online game, and you can't use Mario Kart because you dropped that last year. So here, that would be the best game to do it with, to show off your online.
And it can't be Splatoon because that's already there.
That's already out. It can't be Arms, that's already out. So
Arms 2? I don't.
Nah. Well, nah. I don't think that'll be out this quick. They would actually did something for that.
Yeah, and I don't think that was a big enough. I mean, it did really well for a new IP, but I don't think that was big enough for them. It didn't do Splatoon numbers.
Yeah,
so
it didn't catch. It didn't catch like Splatoon did. So, I mean,
it wouldn't be a third party game, though. It wouldn't push like Overwatch or something out there.
I was wondering if it was gonna be something like Overwatch or Call of Duty or something, and they just don't announce anything until the ninth hour.
Yeah, they could. It could be.
Yeah.
I mean, because we still got the rest of June, all of July, and you know they're gonna show something at San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And especially with like Marvel not showing up and HBO not showing up the Comic-Con, they got to fill that time with something. So I expect Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo to have something at Comic-Con this year. I'm expecting it.
I'm almost to the point where I'm like, I really think, especially with this new leadership now, I really think they should bring Shoshinkai back at some point, just randomly, it's here in September or whatever. Come one, come all. It's a free show. Go. We got a whole bunch of games lined up. It's usually probably games that are already released or that are about to release, and we're gonna talk games.
I wish they would bring it back. I miss it.
Oh my god!
I just wanted to bring on Kid Icarus to, but that's just me.
I know we got this online thing, but that's something they could do and wouldn't be expensive for them because it'd be right there where they at, and
yep.
It would be something because Sony has the
PlayStation
experience, so they're doing their own show separately.
Just look at the stuff that they had. They had the Smash Brothers communicators at the tournament for the people that were playing. Look at the wealth of technology they have just to show a demo. It's not like Nintendo doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah,
they know exactly what they could do. They just like
that's what drives me so crazy about them because I know they can do these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if they don't make you angry, then what would y'all ever talk about?
That's true.
I'm like, if they don't make y'all angry, half y'all would not have a Twitch stream. If they don't make y'all angry, half y'all wouldn't have a YouTube channel. If they don't make y'all angry, half y'all wouldn't be on video. They don't make y'all angry.
Oh god! Wow!
Don't hurt them. Don't hurt them.
Did I say something wrong?
Yeah.
Am I lying?
No, you ain't lying.
I'm glad your channel isn't paid.
I'm gonna say like
people gonna be flagging and snitching.
Yo, they gonna flag. Man, I had somebody flag a live stream when I didn't even say nothing. So I'm like, they flagged the live stream. They flagged the live stream of Dragon Ball Fighters that I did with online thing for. Got flagged. I'm like, wow. Really? Fighters? I didn't even say anything.
Yeah.
Really? So I'm like, at this point, I'm like, y'all just flagging stuff just to be flagging stuff. So
let's say like Arsenio Hall and Coming to America. No, he ain't lying.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's just what I see, though. I mean, that's not even being facetious or sarcastic. That's just what I'm seeing. I see a lot of people complain a lot. That's why I love like Miss K channel, because she straight up hunted
gaming.
Don't come at her with that mess.
That's
why I will say she has single-handedly convinced me that I might be getting Forza Horizon.
Yeah. Horizon 4, man, it looks like so much fun, man.
Yeah, because I might have to just to play, just to join them in a couple races. Because we didn't
talk about Bethesda at all. Like, do y'all feel any type of way about the new Doom or
no?
Or it's hard to.
I want Elder Scrolls. I'm mad.
Yeah, and that's not coming for a while, obviously, based on what he was saying.
No, I'm not upset. I just thought
we're degenerates, by the way, according to Todd Howard.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. I didn't the Bethesda one, because I came in on that one late.
Show. Yeah, it was a good show. It was decent.
Yeah, it was decent. I came in on that one late, and personally, I thought it was okay. They didn't have nothing that wowed me.
Yeah,
that's all it was. It's kind of like with Square Enix. Like with the Square show, nothing wowed me because I already knew all that stuff was coming. I mean, then they kept. If you notice, Square showed a different trailer for Kingdom Hearts at everybody's conference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, y'all are, I'm like,
And didn't Microsoft show it first?
So you can stop now.
Yeah, they showed it first.
That was crazy to me. I was like, what?
Like the
Microsoft
Pirates of the Caribbean was at. Well, hold on. So Pirates of the Caribbean, it was Frozen at Microsoft, Pirates of the Caribbean at Sony, and at theirs they did one where they showed old girl Aqua. Yeah. So it was like 3 different trailers for 3 different conferences.
So my thing about all these conferences was in particular, I want to say Bethesda, Ubisoft, and Microsoft as well. The awkward pauses for generated applause. I never understood. Like nobody, you're not magically making anybody more excited. Like everybody's not getting up with your hype team. Like they're all getting up. They're the only people standing up and clapping. and you're like, and so now we have these studios, and you guys should be happy. And then he just stands there and looks like, what? If they're excited, great, then pause. But continue talking. Like you have talking points. Finish the rest of your.
Dude, you have to look at Andrew House and Sean Layden for that because they did that back in 2013.
God, man,
it was so bad.
It was bad during Ubisoft's conference too, and like they had stooges up front too, and it was like all these people stood up at the exact same time as if on command. Like somebody pressed a button and it pushed them out.
Press the button.
Oh my god! Like,
Skynet is bad.
Automatons.
Skynet is real, man.
It was really bad. Did y'all see the part where the Nintendo the intern or whatever got in trouble?
Yeah.
So when Shigeru Miyamoto went on stage for Ubisoft, he got up to go there, and then his representative was sitting there, and then he looked over at the intern like, "Get your ass in his seat." He moved. You take his place until he sits down. That's like literally the look. Like, oh god,
I missed that.
Yeah, because when they first showed it, you didn't really see it until like they showed it again, and then the camera stayed on it.
Man, he looked at him like with the look of death. He's like, "Look, I know I speak Japanese, but you understand this look. Get your."
He had a certain Samuel L. Jackson look to his face. Like,
wow.
Like he was about to say MF or, get your
Wow.
So I mean the whole that whole situation.
Japanese businessmen are very serious. They're very serious.
they don't play about that mess. But overall, I thought the show was good. Overall. If there was any, the only thing like the awkward pauses and all that, I like it when they go back to back to back. Like I liked the showcase with Nintendo when they just went back to back to back. I like that. I like when Microsoft got in there and went back to back to back to back to back. Sony, next time y'all do something like this, please just have people stay where they at. Just move the camera.
That's awkward. So awkward.
That was a bad decision.
Yeah. So because the gaps were too long, and they really did have. When you actually sit and look at it, they only had 10. Because I wrote down every game they had. They had 10 games. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 10 games. They showed a little bit of their VR and the package that they showed with the VR was games that came out last year.
Yeah.
So,
the worst part to me was it ended with Spider-Man, and then it like cut off like a cliffhanger as if they were gonna do like something later.
Yeah.
And you got people sitting there watching this video. And they're like, "No, get up, leave."
Oh, you saw how they were looking around at each other, like
they were like, "What the?"
I think the thing was they thought they were gonna do a deep dive right after that because the guy during the second intermission said there was gonna be a deep dive. That's why they were sitting there, and then they told them. Then they basically like they didn't show it. So
you just see ushers walking up to people like, "Why are you still sitting down?" Like, "Oh god,
break this stuff down, man. Get up."
They were sitting there waiting for the the extra scene at the end of the Marvel movie. So
yep,
it wasn't happening.
Waiting to see Thanos. No Thanos for you. Get up,
man. I will buy Kingdom Hearts 3 day one if Thanos is in that game and at the end he snaps his fingers.
Man. They're gonna put Star Wars and Marvel stuff in there. I'm wondering.
They probably are. That's probably why they're not showing that. Because I kept wondering why they keep showing like the stuff they already put in there. I mean, they had a Pirates of the Caribbean spot in 2. So I'm guessing I'm gonna see Tony Stark at some point.
That would just be crazy. But I mean, he's in Disney Infinity.
Yeah.
So
I'm guessing I'm gonna see Tony Stark, and they probably gonna have Kylo Ren. And judging by EA, you're probably not gonna have to worry about a loot box.
It's sad that we even have to talk about that.
Oh my God, they were congratulating themselves about not having loot boxes anymore, and they paused for applause on that.
Reason number 387 why the EA was stupid.
Unbelievable.
Oh, it was like 3 people clapped, and it was.
Is this real life?
Like
they really doing this? They waiting on an applause?
They was actually patting themselves on the back because of that.
Yeah, it was bad.
I cried a little inside.
Yeah, that was bad.
Like something you should have never done to begin with. But
what are they making money on? I mean, obviously they're making money on loot.
Madden.
Madden.
I just don't. Is that enough to prop a company the size of EA up? Like what?
Yeah, Madden and FIFA
FIFA's ridiculous.
FIFA's on every. They're on top 10 charts all the time.
They stay there.
It's like their version of NBA 2K or Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah. So I mean, at first I used to think like that, but apparently that's how they do it. That's why they don't care what you think.
Yeah. FIFA is actually an evergreen title. Madden usually isn't. It's usually there for like maybe 4 months or whatever. Then it kind of drops off before the next version comes out. But FIFA is year round.
Yeah. Year
round.
I'm looking at their output. I'm like, man, you remember the EA from the early to mid 2000s? Remember how much all the stuff
back when they were Electronic Arts.
Yep.
Making
they ain't nowhere near that now. What they making money on?
Yeah. This. I mean, Madden. It's a big deal, and I'm wondering now if there's any kickbacks now, because now you got ESPN and NFL Network and all that. They're integrating the EA stuff and the EA esports stuff inside of their shows. So I'm wondering if that's a business venture as well.
Probably is, because I'm pretty sure they're trying to re-up that NFL contract.
Yeah.
So
I'm wondering, it's looking kind of grimy out there, kind of nasty, kind of gross, but it is what it is, man. TV shows dedicated to Madden. Well, I grew up in a trailer park, and now I'm a champion,
and nobody believes you. So,
yeah,
but yeah, all right. So that pretty much does it for this. Let's talk, our little wrap up for E3. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Once again, all hate mail needs to go to Shadowfox at
yes. Make sure you redirect the hate mail to me, to Sony, for messing up all the crossplay with Fortnite.
Yeah.
So, like, even the Mac works for Fortnite on the Switch. Like, what the
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
For the players.
Yeah. I will have some gameplay up of 2 of the characters from the Octopath Traveler prologue demo. I'm gonna try to get another character in tonight. But yeah, be on the lookout for that. I plan on putting up another trailer of another gameplay of the challenge mode from Xenoblade Chronicles 2 at some point. So just be on the lookout for that. T, you got anything you want to pimp out?
Yeah, if you haven't checked out the channel lately, if you hadn't watched the last video, there's new things going on. You might want to check it out. I don't know. I don't have anything specific. I know I'm working on my Nintendo specific deep dive. I think I might even call it that for the E3. So it'll be mostly what we talked about here. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I got to get off this eShop because I'm on my Switch right now. I just bought 2 games and I need to stop. I got to stop.
Buy some stuff.
You have a problem.
I got a problem, man. I got a problem. So yeah, it was a good show though. Good cast.
Shadow, anything you want to pimp out?
Yeah, definitely good cast. Short of me doing an epic rap battle with Mr. T in the future video, that come at some point. I will eventually do a shadow cast talking about all the events that happened over the past couple of weeks or whatnot. It'll probably be long and in depth, so it'll take a long time to edit. So bear with me. And also, I got a couple of videos in the pipe that God and Final Cut said no. So I'm going to, whenever they come out, they come out. So just bear with me on this and follow me on social media, because that's where I'm most active when I'm not doing work to make money to feed my family. So yeah, enjoy that. And do you play games to have fun or to impress other people? Yeah.
All right. And we will see you guys at some point in the future, especially when Smash Bros. Drops and we start dropping them WWE Smash Bros. Tournaments. See ya.
Sweet.